I was reading that book while I was traveling and spending time with my family, and one of the chapters that really stood out for me was about the body being the home of the soul. So the chapter itself is called Honoring the Body, and the author described the human body as the home that our soul chose to occupy during this incarnation and our time on earth. And I had never heard anyone describe it in that way. I've never experienced the body being home until I read that chapter, because I've always heard, like, from a spiritual perspective, that the home is this magical, mystical place like heaven or a higher realm, like a non-physical, energetic state. That's where the soul comes from, and that's where the soul returns to. And then in a more practical human sense, home is like where you're born into. It's perhaps the physical house, dwelling that you grew up in or you reside in. So like I've always had this limited perspective of home. Like it's either the physical building that you're occupying, or it's like this mystical place that you can't access while you're in human form. It blew my mind to look at my body as my home. And when I think about it, it resonates so much because my soul chose this vessel, this body, to experience life on this earth at this time. And how incredible is it to connect with your body in that way, that your body is home? Like, this is where you belong, in your body. Well, at least while you're on earth and you're living out your soul contract and fulfilling your soul mission, your body is your home, because your body is what actually carries you throughout everything, throughout your life and all of your experiences. And it's just made me think more deeply about how it is that I've been taking care of my body, the home, the sacred space that my soul chose to occupy. Have I been taking good care of my body? And the truth is I haven't. I would say that I have been less reckless. So in the past, don't judge me please, I lived off bought meals, like ready to eat meals that come in these packages, pre-packaged meals. I lived off that and takeaways for basically my entire independent life for the last 10 years, because I had a very different experience growing up. I had a very modern upbringing where my mom took care of everything at home, and my only responsibility was to devote myself to school. And when I eventually completed school and relocated for work, I didn't know how to cook. I knew how to put bread in a toaster, thank goodness. I knew how to make noodles, but nutritious food that actually replenishes the body, I didn't know how to do that. I couldn't even make a salad. It's so sad. So I've been living off anything that is so easy to get, anything that doesn't require me to put an effort to prepare or to clean up afterwards. I was just surviving off that. And I guess when you're younger, so this was basically throughout my 20s, when you're younger, your body is much more resilient. You're not really going to feel the effects of not taking good care of yourself. But it's caught up with me now. I'm now in my early 30s, and I can feel that my body is I don't know how to describe it. It's struggling. I wouldn't say that my body is degrading. I did kind of experience that when I was going through my season of burnout. That lasted for 2 to 3 years. That was not fun. But now that I've completely changed my lifestyle, I've changed my career, and I'm living in alignment with what feels good to me, I've noticed that my body is actually restoring itself, and I've got the energy to do things and to like be here, create things. But my body is still not, it's not what I believe that it can be. And I'm not putting pressure on myself. Like, I don't want to hold myself to the standards that I had when I was 22 years old, because my energy was totally different back then, and it would be unfair to expect myself to be at that same level. But I do know that I could be at a much better state than what I'm at right now, because I feel tired a lot of the time. I have a full amount of sleep. I'm quite disciplined with giving myself good sleep, so I get anything from 7.5 to 8.5 hours of sleep. Yet when I wake up, I'm tired, and I do things to raise my energy. So I will meditate, I will get movement in the morning, I take my cat for walks. He's actually been my biggest motivator to get moving in the morning, and I do stretches and yoga. My husband and I actually started going for walks in the evenings, and we've like upgraded that to jogging as well. So I'm definitely getting in movement. But the fact that I'm still tired, I do feel like my diet has a lot to do with it. And in the last year, since I've been feeling so much better and I've been recovering from burnout, I've had more energy to dedicate to preparing better meals. So I've been learning how to cook. I bought myself books to learn how to make 5-ingredient meals. That is a game changer. If you don't know how to cook, and you're too afraid to even begin because it's so overwhelming, and looking at the very long list of ingredients is too exhausting to even begin, I highly recommend searching for 5-ingredient cookbooks. It will change your life. So I've been doing that, and I wouldn't say I'm like the healthiest person ever. Like, I'm still buying pre-packaged vegetables and like putting stuff into the air fryer and the oven. I'm not sure, is that healthy? I kind of feel like healthy is eating things that are as raw and as close to its natural form as possible. I don't know. Let me know what your idea of healthy eating is. But I've at least cleaned up my eating significantly, and I have noticed a difference. The fact that I am able to dedicate myself to work and projects again, that tells me that I'm doing something right, but I know that I can definitely do much better. But baby steps, right? Having spent most of my life not cooking and not knowing how to cook, I think the fact that I'm here right now where I am preparing meals, like, I should be celebrating that. And I do celebrate the fact that I am doing better for myself and taking better care for myself. And I feel like I have been on the right path of being guided. Like, even though this was before the book club started and before I even read the book Guided, I have been on this journey of being guided to take better care of myself. Just the way in which life gave me no choice but to change. The way in which my career changed so suddenly. The way in which I have felt called to start moving again. My cat will put on the performance of a lifetime if I don't take him for walks. And I feel like my cat was brought to me at this time in my life because he was going to be the biggest motivator to get me moving and to spend time outside. And the way in which my husband has just like naturally shown up to join me in walks in the evenings, because we were not that kind of couple before. We never did exercise together, and I never expected that we would. But just the way in which everything, like, it just happened on its own without having to force it. I feel like life has been guiding me. I didn't have to go looking for it. What it is that I needed, what my body needed, what the home of my soul needed has just been showing up for me, and I'm so grateful for it. Being able to like pause for a moment and reflect on all of this. I haven't actually taken the time to just think about, wow, life has been taking care of me. Life has been giving me the opportunity to take better care of my body. It's quite amazing. Like, these are the things that I look at and think, wow, this is the miracle. Like, we don't need to see things appear out of the sky. We don't need to walk on water to witness the way in which life takes care of you and guides you onto a path of recovery and restoration and regeneration without you having to fight for it. That, for me, that is beautiful. That is the miracle. And so I thought that this would be cool to share with you. Like, it's not crazy, life-changing, bold stuff. Like, oh, all I'm doing is making adjustments to my eating and to my movement, and it's not like I'm heading up the gym and like using hectic equipment. I'm not lifting weights or anything. All I'm doing is walking. All I'm doing is sitting outside, and it's been amazing. I've felt so much more connected to my body, to this earth. Oh my goodness, the way in which I connect to the earth being my home as well. So like, that's a further extension of what home is. The earth is our home. The earth was so generous enough to create the right conditions for us to exist. The earth was so generous enough to give us this space to live in, to provide us with the oxygen that we need. Well, that comes from the plants, but hey, the earth made space for the plants, and the plants made space for us. More miracles. It just gets more and more amazing the more that you think about it.